Okay, so let's test this student class. We put a lot of work in this one, so if there are any mistakes, we better catch them now before it's a bit too late, before it's a bit too complicated. And here is a very simple code that will check at least checks the one instance of the student class called Marek, but for now disregard whatever is grayed out. Okay, so whatever is after slash asterisk for comment, just disregard it for now, and I'm going to just focus on whatever is in color. So public class test1, and just keep in mind you have to name the file the same way as you name your class, and then you write public static void main string args blah blah blah, that line here, and it's just a standard way of starting the main function. Okay, and now so this is how you declare a new and actually initialize, because you put in something in there. Okay, you don't just declare. Declaring is if I didn't put in an assign symbol, I would just write student Marek and semicolon here. But because I did this is actually initializing. And all I want is please start new student object, to create new one, create new student object called Marek. Okay. Now in here, I would like to see what's inside of all the fields. So I'm using those get methods. You see, I'm not using the actual fields. I'm not using those in here. So instead of using dot student name, I'm using Marek.get student name in the brackets. That means I'm using a method that takes this field and gives it back, which virtually does exactly the same, but at least keeps it protected. It keeps it private. Okay, so these are all the fields except the grade list, which has nothing in it and there is nothing to show. So I don't think I can access it yet. So let's see what that does. And you could compile it now and see, but I'm gonna just go through all the steps I did in here. So then I decided to set all the fields, so I want to populate it. Okay, so Marek Kubiak for name, and you can see Marek dot set student name, and then inside of the brackets I put in the value for the name, the string for the name, and then in here for the ID number I put in the integer, and that's my number. Oh, that's a mistake. It doesn't matter. And here is the course, and that's a string. You can see the quotation marks. Year is integer, boolean set registration, and for the marks, actually, I created an array. That's how you how you say, hey computer, I'm gonna create an array of integers called marks array. Okay, and I want them to be these. Okay, so I don't have to say how many arrays I'm gonna create, how many integers in that array I'm gonna create. I just pass the list, the array of integers, and then the computer figures it out on its own. And then because my set method here is for single marks, and I wanted 10 of them, I just created this for loop that does 10 times. I have 10 marks in here, and I ask this for loop, hey, could you put 10 times this item, and that I index here does the job. So I take this array, put it in here, and inside of that for loop with I as an index that goes increments by 1 every time, I increment my element that I'm looking at. So this one, add to this one, add to this one, add to this one, and I add them all in. Well, not, oh yeah, add them here. Sorry, am I adding them? Yes. So I use set mark, which means like I add to my array list. And then we have, and then I'm printing, I do exactly the same. I just copied this and pasted here. So I want to see what happened now, what happened with my Marek student object after populating all the fields, including the marks. What's the name of the? If you go to get mark, it goes to grade list, okay, and gets index by index, one by one. Okay, so from 0 to 10, excluding 10, I++, and printf a digit. So in one line, printf, see print line means there's going to be a new line after every line, and in here I said write it in one line all the time. Don't, as long as I don't specify \n for new line, I want them in the one line, and just put in a mark from my grade list, and then just print an empty line just for aesthetics. Okay, now I can Control S for save, and Java C test1.java, enter, compiled nicely, and now Java test1, and that's how you run the program with the main in it. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Something run, and I'm happy that happened. So as you can see, first, when you initialize a new object, student object, you get null inside of the name, then you get 0 as because of this constructor here. This constructor does nothing except creating a new array list. Okay, except for that, it's all zeros and nulls and nothing. So, and it's nicely it shows it nicely here. So it's 0 for the number, then the name, which is string, is null. Null means like nothing is in there. Then 0 for integer, false, because it's like it wasn't set, so it's like by default false. And then I started to populate it in here. So I put in Marek Kubiak, I put in a number, course name, year, registration changed to true, and one by one I added all those numbers that you can see in here. Because why you see it here is because of those lines here. So I printed those out once again after populating the same object. It's the same object here in here, but I gave those fields, all those fields have been populated with data, with information. Okay, so that's how you test it, and play around with this code. I'm going to scroll down so you can comfortably use this one. This is not for assignment, it's just for you to practice and see what happens inside of your code. So just feel free to write it down and use it for your own benefit. Okay, so that's the last one for today. I'm gonna talk about undergraduate tomorrow, and I'm not gonna go through it. I'm gonna just give you pointers how to do it, but that's gonna be very easy now. And then there's this student progress that I created here, which is like this, like the main program, like this one here, but it does whatever John asked us to do in the assignment. Okay, thanks for watching and see you later.